Back in the garage, back in the garage, back in the garage today, back in the garage. Alright guys, back in the garage today. I don't know if you can see it in the background. I've got the Super Adventure up on the lift. Gonna get the GPS mounted. I decided to go with the SW Motech mount, which is gonna mount it up above the gauge cluster. And I will be using the same Garmin 590 that I used on my FJR. We're just gonna put it on the new bike. Alright, so when we crack open the box, we've got basically like 2 pages of instructions, and then we just got this little package right here. Just a real quick tip here, a lot of people think they're missing a piece when they open this up because they can't find this piece. It's actually this piece right here, which is part of the, if I can get it off of there. It's actually this piece right here. It just slides right off, so there it is. Now they don't show you this part when you're putting this together, but the first thing you really need to do is take whatever piece you're going to be mounting on here and get this mounted on here first, because once you put these other 2 pieces together, it's going to make this part really, really difficult. Alright, now with the Garmin piece mounted on the SW Motech piece, now we're going to move on to the next step. The next step is actually step 1, where we're going to take these 2 pieces and just mount them together. Now with these 2 pieces together, my recommendation would be not to tighten these down too much yet, so you still got a little bit of movement, because you're going to want to play around on the bike with the different angles before committing and locking this down. The next step is to put together this quick release. It's relatively straightforward. This piece is just going to go down on here, and then we're going to use these 4 little Phillips head screws to put these 2 pieces together. I would get all 4 of these screws started before starting to lock any of them down, because they do have a little bit of movement there, and you can try to line that thing up as good as possible. Now that we've got the quick release part put on, our next step is to just take this little rubber grommet. It should just push up inside there. Now you may want to take, you got to be really careful. You could possibly take a flat bit screwdriver, but I think I got that nipple inside there pretty good, so that should work. Alright, so the next step is to come over here on the bike, and we're going to remove this screw right here, because we're going to reuse it in just a few minutes. It's going to be a little hard to see, but there's a screw that sits right, point to it, right there. That needs to come out as well. That will not be reused. This is the screw that comes out of that spot. It is another torque head. First thing we need to do is take this piece, and it's going to slide right in there. It's just going to kind of sit there. Okay, so the bracket or the base plate goes up here like this, but before we put this on, this goes back into place, at least according to the instructions. And then this screw gets reused. Now I've just snugged that up a little bit because I'm going to need a little bit of play back here to get this other bolt in. This next part is going to be kind of hard to show. We got a screw that comes in the instructions. It's going to go back into there. Make sure you put some blue Loctite on it. It does call for it. Alright, you can see I've got that screw in there. The spacer's in there. This is on. Everything's mounted. There's just barely enough clearance, but I didn't have to take the windshield off. Okay, the next part is to actually mount this on. So it's going to go something like this. And how the crap it's supposed to fit in there, I have no idea. There we go. Just snaps into place. Now I'm going to play around with the placement. My GPS, make sure it's where I want it. That looks pretty good. So now I'm just going to lock down those bolts on the side once I pop this thing back off, so it's at the right angle. Then I got to take care of all this wiring. Alright, so the way I decided to run my wiring is I took these, I just loosened these up a little bit so I could get the wiring behind the gauges, and then it all just kind of runs out down here, and getting ready to bundle it up. And if you look right, oops, let me see if I can get the camera in there. If you see right there, that's actually running off of accessory 1, so that means I'm going to have constant hot power. It's right up there by the 12 volt plug-in, and KTM's already got it there, so all you have to do is put your male connectors on and slide it together. All right, so my thought is I'm just gonna shove it right up there underneath the headlight opening, and we'll see how that works. I still have to button everything back up, but there's the wiring kind of tucked into the headlight housing here. Let's see if everything goes back together. And there it is, fully installed. Looks really clean. Everything you see is you've got this cable and it's just running down through here. Like I said, it's all kind of tucked in and zip tied up underneath the headlight there. And then if you look down here, you just see you see that one little red cable going across there. There's really no way that I could find to totally hide that. Looks pretty clean though. Just one more quick thing. I didn't go over the wiring of it. Your ground wire on the KTM is the brown wire if you're going with the accessory one, and the red and yellow wire is your power or your hot wire. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, I look forward to you being one, and I'll talk to you again soon.